It's not so much FrameForge. FrameForge, it's just a tool that helps create a storyboard. I mean, if you can draw the storyboard or create it in any other way, it's just as good. You know, it will work just as great. I would rather talk about the usefulness of having a storyboard as opposed to the how to actually use the FrameForge. Alright, so should I just start walking? And I think we got it. Alright, next. Next. Storyboarding has been a blessing for me this semester. I've never done anything with a storyboard. All the projects I've worked in the past, I just had an idea and I'm just gonna figure out the shots on the set. But this semester, it has been an absolute blessing. Out of the closet, he looks at the dead bodies. He looks at the diamond. So he's standing by the closet, looking at the diamond. So that's the shot we need to get. So next, we'll get a shot of the rack with one door open and the rack inside of the closet. See the beauty? It's a fake closet, just the doors. And it's not really a rack. So when you have pre-visualized the storyboard, when you have everything on paper, or in my case, I had it on the iPhone and the computer on the laptop. All you need to do, you just show up on the set and you figure out how to get those shots. You don't have to think about the framing. You don't have to think about which way the actor is looking. And as a matter of fact, it has happened quite a few times where we would, on the set, we would ask ourselves, where is the actor looking? In what direction? And then we're like, oh, wait a second. Let's look at the storyboard, and then we know exactly. That way we're not crossing any axes, and everything is consistent, and then hopefully cuts very well at the end.
So why do you think that you have to shoot it from that side? I don't understand the axis issue here.
Well, to be entirely honest, I don't exactly understand the axis myself entirely either to explain, but in the storyboard, the shot is facing that way, and when we were writing it, somehow we agreed, I think Thomas suggested, that would be the right way to do it. So we're just going to go with that storyboard, and I think that's the right way to do it. While you can create a storyboard in any way, including the old-fashioned drawing, in my case, I cannot draw, and for me, FrameForge has been really a useful tool. It's a very powerful program. It's a 3D rendering software that helps you create a set, add characters, add props, add whatever you need, to a certain extent, of course. Select the lenses, select the camera, select the lights, and help you recreate what you will be working with on set. And it can sometimes be really intimidating, especially when you first open it and try to figure out what's going on in the software. But what I found for myself is that I don't really need it to use all the features that I didn't really understand. But I did try to go a little bit more in depth. One of the very useful features that I took advantage of in FrameForge was the ability to recreate the set to scale. I actually went through all the rooms of our location. I measured them and I entered that information into the program, and then I knew exactly the parameters of what I was going to be working with. I knew the lens, the focal length of the lens I was going to be using on set, which happens to be 24 to 70 millimeters, and by having all that information in FrameForge, I could actually see in the program while I'm sitting in front of the computer what I will be seeing through that lens on the day of the shoot. Just to show you an example right here, this is one of the shots, and you can see that the actor is framed. It's relatively close. You can only see his part of his body and the hand. He's reaching into the suitcase. So if I want to get a wider shot of that, I would have to back up my camera. But you can see on the blueprint right here, this is the red camera. I'm already in the corner, so I can't really back up to get a wider shot, which means that I probably would either need to get a wider lens, which might be difficult, or I would have to reposition all the elements, rethink all the elements in the room so I can get the shot I want. And for me, that was one of the best features and best advantages of using FrameForge for this particular project. Just the ability to recreate the set and see exactly what I'm going to be getting on set before I even get there. Okay, now it's enough, and then we'll raise up. Previously, when we tried to shoot our project, we would show our professor our script and perhaps a couple of sketches of what we're thinking, but he would not be able to give us any constructive input based on that, really, and we would just going to go in for the shoot and hope for the best. In this particular case, when we showed him the storyboard, he immediately was able to point out all the mistakes, all the glaring mistakes that we were about to make, and the biggest of which was the 180 rule. We were crossing axes back and forth without really realizing it, and just subtle things. One actor is looking that way, and we got to his view, and he's looking the other way where he's supposed to be looking that way. Small things like that, which don't really turns around. They don't really feel that important. When you actually shoot it, make a mistake, shoot it, and edit it, they don't work, because then the audience is confused who's where and who's looking at who. Okay. And we'll get that shot last, but first we'll get a shot of you actually looking, your close-up of the face. Okay. And we'll get the bloody shot afterwards. Okay. All right, everybody quiet, and I'm rolling. Go. We were even able to load our storyboard, or load all the images onto an iPhone, and it was very convenient. Just you're sitting in that tight closet trying to get a shot, instead of you trying to make out your way to a computer, just pull up your phone and see what exactly you need to get. We have, so we got, so the next one would be a when we were on set. We were constantly right here looking at the computer screen where we had the storyboard pulled up. We would get a shot. Okay, what's the next one? We just look at it. We know exactly where the actor needs to be looking, how to frame him. It's all right there on the storyboard. We don't have to go through all that effort and headache of figuring out where to place the camera and what kind of shot we need to get. It's all right there. All right, we got that one. So next, Andrew, could you call this real quick? Since this project, I'm a huge proponent of storyboarding, and any serious project from now on that I'm going to work on, I will definitely use FrameForge or any other storyboarding software I can come up with.